Alright, there we go, on the right slide now. So this is my 6.4 analysis of the biomechanics. So firstly, looking at 6.1, which was notational analysis. So what we can see from here is that one of Lou's strengths was the fact that he had a 100% conversion rate when doing layups. He did have 4 layups and 4 of them were converted. Another strength of Lou's was he had 6 turnovers, and this is good because the rest of the group did only average 1, so that did show that Lou excelled in turning over the ball, and he was good at getting in front of his player that he had to mark. The only downside really to Lou was he had a conversion rate for 2-point shots at only 50%, and this isn't ideal. Bear in mind the perfect model and the rest of the group were achieving relatively quite high, like 75% plus, and James in this case achieving 100%. Another one of Lou's weaknesses was his defensive rebounds. So he only completed 1, and this isn't really good for a small forward because they need to be getting back and intercepting the play before preventing the other team having another shot. And lastly, Lou did complete 2 steals, which again was good as that was above average in the group. The group averaged 1. So 6.2, the technical model. So for Lou, this wasn't too bad, to be honest. The strengths were in this process was he did locate the player throughout the box out, and he was very good at maintaining that position. When he did receive the ball, he did pivot away from the danger, out of the key, to then offload a pass or to dribble away. And lastly, he did slide his feet and held out his forearm to block the player. So he was good at keeping basket side to reclaim the ball, to keep the danger away. However, the 2 weaknesses that can be identified from this were Lou didn't jump for the ball. So although the attacker didn't really attack him aggressively, he still should have jumped for the ball, and it would have made it easier for him to claim it, because if the attacker had put pressure on, then he may have struggled to stop that second shot. And lastly, although he had his forearm on the opponent and knew where they were, he didn't push it out. So it didn't affect him as the attacker wasn't pressing really difficult and really hard on him. But if they had been really aggressive and wanting to get the ball, and he hadn't pushed his arm out, they would have been closer and they would have been more of a threat. And again, all of this those things need to be worked on as a small forward, because it's essential that you win the ball back off a rebound. Otherwise, you could be in for another shot, which gives them another chance to score. So the numerical model. This is where Lou struggled a little bit, to be honest. So he had a large propulsive force. That was the main strength I could gather from the data that we had. So in comparison to the rest of the group, he did have the highest propulsive force, and that was just because he was pushing loads of force into the force plate, and he was also taking a long time when doing this. But the only downside to this is he was having a high braking force then. So from what we can see is the numerical model, if we look at the 20-meter sprints now, he had from the first 20-meter sprint to the third 20-meter sprint, he fatigued. So he did slow down. So he went from 3.89 seconds for the 20 meters down to 4.57, which is quite a lot for 20 meters. Like, that's quite a long time. Another weakness of Lou's was he's decelerating before the end of the 20-meter sprint. So as you can see in the 20-meter sprints for Lou, he went from 0.73 in the third sector and down to 0.9 before it even finished, and then 0.73 to 0.85, then 0.92 to 0.99. So yeah, he did decelerate before the end of the 20-meter sprint, and this is not good. Another thing, he was slow to accelerate off the mark. So the middle was okay, the middle was good, but 1.13, 1.63, 1.97 was all really slow. And if you look at that in comparison to the rest of the group, that was, especially in the last one, he was the slowest to accelerate off the mark. And this is not good for a small forward because what happens is the players will beat him to the ball. So if he's fatiguing towards the end of a game, he may struggle to get the ball back later on. He may be essentially the opponents will have better aerobic endurance and will last longer and be able to withstand a high intensity. And also, Lou being slow to accelerate off the mark, they're going to beat him to the ball. They're going to be able to get away quicker. Or, run away from Lou, essentially. So, looking at the strengths and areas for improvement, and this is what I've basically just explained. But that's just it in a short debrief. Oh, sorry. So yeah, the prioritized smart targets I've chosen is improving power when jumping. So this is jumping up in the air for defensive rebounds or offensive rebounds. And this is just so that as a small forward, he needs to be getting the ball back and getting a shot away or preventing the other team having another shot. Aerobic endurance, this is so he doesn't fatigue from the 20 metres. He will be doing a lot of sprinting up and down the court. And if he can maintain his aerobic endurance, then he'll be able to do it at a high intensity throughout the game. And lastly, improving power again, but this is to push off the mark. So this is power in his a different part of his legs to create a different movement. So the first smart target I'm going to be looking at is Lou needs to improve power in his legs, and that is so he can jump higher. So the 6-week training program, or the 6-week training plan, goes like this. So Lou firstly will do front box jumps. He'll do 10 reps of these, 3 sets onto a 60 centimetre box. Do this twice a week for 6 weeks. So I chose for Lou to do this Lou will do this on a Monday and a Wednesday. And this is because the other exercise he's going to do on different days, which allows him to rest after. And after the 3rd week, he'll add an extra set of 10 reps. And that is just to show is to push him on a little bit more to make it a bit more challenging after. But what you could do is what will happen is after the 6 weeks, if he's still not showing any improvement, we'll do a 3-week, but we'll also increase the box height, so maybe up to 70 centimeters. Lou then on the Thursday will do 15 reps of 3 sets and aim to achieve as high as possible for the amount of broad jumps. So when I mean achieve as high as possible, that is how high he gets his knees. So already it's going to be above his waist, but if you can get him higher, that's amazing, as it'll mean you'll have to push off the ground harder. And he'll do this 1 time a week for 6 weeks. After the 4th week, he'll add a weight vest, and inside this weight vest you have 2.5 kilograms on either side. So this is adding an extra 5 kilos. That's making it progressively harder, and basically he'll have to exert more force on his muscles like the gastrocnemius and the quadriceps in order to push higher into the air. And he'll do that on Thursday. Squat jumps, he'll do 15 reps of 3 sets. He'll complete these twice a week for 6 weeks. But after 3 weeks, he'll add a 20 kilogram barbell. And this, again, just to make it more challenging, you do that on a Tuesday and a Friday. He'll complete a vertical standing broad jump before the 6-week training program and after. And this is just basically, this is to identify an improvement and to see progression. And this is relevant for a small forward because he needs to jump higher to reclaim the ball back more often, so to improve his defensive rebound. Second smart target then. He'll be improving aerobic endurance, and this is so he doesn't fatigue as quickly, so he can maintain a high intensity throughout the game and carry on doing his sprints. So the way Lou's going to be doing this is Lou will be doing a yo-yo test, level 2. And the level 1 was for beginners, but I thought Lou wasn't quite a beginner. Lou was above that standard. He wasn't quite advanced, but I thought this test would be more challenging for him and more suitable. So Lou will complete the yo-yo test once a week for 6 weeks. So he'll do this on the Monday after the Sunday rest, the Saturday-Sunday rest. He'll do it on the Monday, and he'll record what level he achieved each week to see progression. So he'll put this into an Excel spreadsheet, and at the end of it, we'll see how he's changed from the first week to the last week, hopefully seeing an improvement, or maybe seeing a dip in the middle if his body's become more stressed when he adds in the harder drills, essentially. After the 6 weeks, he'll complete the 3 20-metre sprints again, and this is so we can see whether he may still fatigue because it's only 6 weeks, but maybe the fatigue will be less, or he may not fatigue at all. He may be able to maintain it or even get quicker. And I believe this test is suitable for a small forward because it is 20-metre sprints, and he'll be doing a lot of those in a small forward because he's always running up and down the court. Lastly, then, the next smart target will be to improve power in his legs, and this is so he can accelerate off the spot quicker rather than jumping into the air. So the way we're going to be doing this is Lou's going to be doing hops and hurdle hops. So firstly, we'll do 5 reps for 3 sets of single leg hops, and I'll be giving him feedback or showing him how to do these before, just so he gets the correct technique, so he can get it correctly, and then he can visualize what he has to do, and it makes it easier for him, as Lou is a visual learner. 5 reps of 3 sets with a jump, but he'll be doing a stick landing, so he'll be stopping and then starting again and stopping. And then next he'll make it a little bit difficult, a little bit harder. 5 reps for 3 sets. Jumps with a little, I wrote bounce. It's meant to be a bounce. And then lastly he'll do 5 reps, 3 sets of continuous jumps. So we're just making it progressively harder as it goes on. And then after this he'll do some skater jumps. He'll do 3 sets for 20 meters distance, and this is just to increase the power within his gastrocnemius. And lastly, we'll do some bounding, 3 sets for 20 meters, and again I'll show him a demonstration so he does this correctly. And this is all relevant because this plyometrics will train Lou's muscles contract more rapidly and explosively, and this is known as the short stretch cycle. Lou will do 20 meters sprints 3 times a week. The 6-week training program will identify progression, and this is relevant for a small forward because Lou takes too long to accelerate, then the opposition players will beat him in a race to chase down the ball. So giving feedback then, what we have to bear in mind is the age of the person I'm working with. And Lou, I know, 17, almost 18. He works well with negative feedback. He likes to prove people wrong. So being honest with Lou is probably the best way to work, and I think that will benefit him in the long run. As if you're not honest with him, he'll get overconfident. It might boost his ego more than it should be. And the way that I'll be doing this is I'll be embedding the negative. So like I did earlier on, I'll be explaining the positive, but I'll be going positive, negative. So it may be, Lou, you had really high impulse. You had really low braking impulse. However, you were slow to accelerate off the mark, for example. So Lou is an individual. I'd take into account his age, which we have. Take into account his personality. So if Lou's not going to work well with negative feedback, then we'll try to avoid it. But we do have to be honest to some extent. So it's the way we word it. Maybe not using really negative language. And we also need to bear in mind his experience. So he's not quite beginner, but he's not advanced. So we need to bear in mind that there is room for improvement. And lastly, the type of feedback. Like I said, I'll be speaking to him one-to-one, and I will also be demonstrating what he has to do to improve, showing the correct way. Thank you. Where's the pause button? There it is.